Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome to EVE Talk, your weekly look at the markets in EVE Online. So for now it looks like the gecko challenges are progressing decently well. The ones that are lagging most behind are PvP, so they need to maybe up their game a little bit because they're still below 50%, but the miners are way ahead and are getting closer and closer to unlocking those first geckos. So looks pretty good. I think we have a good chance of getting 8 extra geckos next week. Of course, we are here for the market. So yeah, let's dive right in. Let's see what plex are doing. I'm writing down like 45 seconds for that. Again, 707 for the sellers. That's up 7 million. For the buyers, I'm sorry. That's up 7 million from last week. And 720 pretty much for the sellers. That's up a little bit, just not as much as the buy orders. So yeah, this chart is closing in on an average pricing between 715 and 720, something like that, where prices might just stabilize a little bit. The plex chart on 6 months, we're finally starting to plateau at around the 720 million price mark. Is this where it's going to stay for a while? I don't know. The summer expansion might just give it a little bit of a boost, but that's coming pretty soon. So you would expect to have seen that already, and then during the summer it is a little bit normal for activity to decline a little bit, and this might just decrease demand for plexes a little bit and thus decrease the price. So I'm still waiting for that opportunity to invest, but it does look at the moment that that plexes are remaining well above 700 million. And yeah, everything looks well, pretty much in balance here. Look at that, 10 of them being sold for 719.5, 11 of them being bought for 707.8. So that's actually, people are willing to still pony up close to 710 million ISK for a plex. This looks like it is the current price, and don't expect like a CCP intervention unless plexes start to really go up way too sharply once again, which it did right here on this spike that reached data point at 740 million. But I don't think we'll see that happening unless plexes do a drastic move. And so for now it looks pretty balanced, and unfortunately 715, 720 is pretty much the price you're gonna pay for a plex at the moment. Let's move on to minerals. Quickly go to titanium, 245. Titanium, we should really go for the 1 month chart here, but that's going up quite nicely. Look at that, 570 even on some of the data points. If I go for that 6 month chart, look at that, that's a pretty nice upward swing. So if you have been mining and have been keeping your minerals in stock, you would have done a pretty good deal. I do think after the summer, I said that I'm not really mining to put anything on the market, but that I would keep some reserves at least, and here it is, the nicer opportunity is coming. 575 for the sellers for titanium, 570 for the buyers, 1.2 billion units, so more supply, more demand than supply by a really big margin. Look at that, these are pretty recent orders, and 1.2 billion, 1.4 billion being bought. That's more than the entire supply side, the entire sell order page. So that's pretty amazing. This is probably going to continue to go up significantly. Yeah, it's very good news for miners, of course. Let's see if pyrite is following suit. No, that one is, surprisingly enough, that one is still moving sideways at the 12.5 million mark. It knew, of course, it's pretty big spike in February up to from let's see here, 11.4 to 13.6, pulled back a little bit, and now it's on a sideways movement still. Look at that, 1.5 billion being bought at the highest price of 12.54. I don't see these kinds of numbers on the supply side, on the sell order side. So it's the third week in a row where I say this, but I do expect pyrite to start to go up as well, because honestly people are just willing to pay much more for their pyrite here, and their big orders. I would have expected this to be a little bit sooner, but I do think pyrite is going to go up if we look at supply demand situation. Next up, Mexalon. It's taking off after a little bit of a steady stint here at just above 50 ISK. Are we looking at higher sell order price? Yeah, 51.35, 15.30 one. Again here, supply demand situation, 400 million being bought, 300 million being bought. Those are recent orders. 233 million being bought. You're only seeing something like 47, 67, 53 million on the sell order side. So again, Mexalon here is also looking like it's going to go up. And yeah, if Tritanium can keep this up like that, that's really a nice chart for people that have been mining Feldspar. Then yeah, the rest of them might just start to go up as well. And that could be very good news for miners. Not such good news for industrialists that actually buy their minerals, but they might actually be a part of the cause here. We all know that the price for manufacturing is going to go up substantially. I do suspect a lot of people are doing a lot of manufacturing right now, increasing demand. Once the expansion hit, this could really taper off if people decide that, well, I'm not going to manufacture as intensively as what they're doing at the moment in preparation of that. And we ourselves are doing this as well. We are making the third, fifth Orca in total for our corporation. So we've been mining quite a little bit, gathering all the materials needed for that stuff, and so now everyone will actually have an Orca ready. But yeah, it costs just like 1000 ISK for every component and for building the Orca itself. Compare that to a percentage of the value of everything you'll make. It's actually a normal reaction, I think, for people to try and do their manufacturing before the expansion. Build up some reserves in goods, which will probably go up in price. Here Isogen again taking off towards 140. Yep, 139.51 is the lowest sell order. 24 million biggest buy order. Yeah, 23 million here, pretty recent. 22 million here, pretty recent. 57 million here, pretty recent. Again here, especially for the high-sec minerals, we are seeing way more demand than supply. So let's have a look then at some null-sec ones. Megasite dropping off, look at that, from 1620 to 1560. Yeah, that's a little bit surprising. Apparently maybe some null-sec guys are like dumping some of their stocks. But again here, 1.5 million being bought pretty recently. That's a lot more than the entire supply situation, but of course it is the supply situation that does dictate the price in these kinds of minerals, because they are being imported from nullsec, and so it's not like you can just fill in buy orders by mining locally. Nope, this is really the selling guys are dictating the price for a large part. The other one, let's have a look here at Zydrine, for instance, 694 here, also taking off. So yeah, it does look like some stock dumping to me. Noxium is a little bit of an in-between. You can mine it in high sec, but not in really super large quantities. And so this one, well, it looks stable over the entire month. Supply demand here, 27 million. Yeah, that's a pretty big order, but the price on the chart is pretty close to the sell order part. So I do suspect that Noxium people don't just sell that much to the buy orders. It's really the transitional mineral, I would say. Anything below that is clearly high sec stuff that where buy orders do get filled in. Noxium, it's got a little bit of both, and everything above that is null sec stuff that is highly dictated by the sell order prices, because people don't actually sell to buy orders there. They put it on the market and you go and buy it then. And then Morphite, of course, used for Tech 2 stuff, also yeah, gradually going down. So it does look, in my opinion, like some stock dumping from the null sec guys. Pretty interesting stuff. Let's have a look if we have a reaction on the Tech 1 chip market at around 8.55. And the Drake, let's see here, 1 month chart, pretty much stable. As I've said last week as well, I do suspect people are building a lot of stuff, a lot of ships, a lot of guns, a lot of munitions, but I don't think they're going to flood the market with anything right now. They're going to keep it pretty much stable. So for the Drake, it looks like a well-supplied market. The Maelstrom even went up a little bit at the tail end there, so yeah, 190.5 maybe, something like that for Maelstroms, up a little bit. The Omen here, yeah, went up quite significantly. Now it's holding steady at 10.7 million. You see the supply, it's there in decently big numbers, but that's because the price is pretty high for the Omen at the moment. But they're not flooding the market at the moment with all the Omens and stuff that are being produced. The Rogue, well, stable to up for the entire month. It knew a nice little spike. It's correcting back but here again I think 6, 2, 3 for the buyers, 4, 1, 5 for the sellers. It looks like a healthy market where people are more maintaining the price, I think, than really trying to flood the market with everything they're producing at the moment. They're actually holding back for the expansion. So the actual result of this is the Talos, for instance. Again, here they're meeting each other at 75 million price point. You're seeing 10, 12, 10 here on the buy order side. You're seeing 10, 17 on the sell order side. If my assumption here is correct, prices will generally go up because you need a lot of ISK just to start producing stuff after the expansion, actually a percentage of everything. But if people are indeed holding back, the 1% increase in price that CCP is shooting for might actually turn out to be the correct one, because people will have extra stocks to dump, and so in the short term, after the expansion, the rise might just be tempered by the fact that people are producing massive amounts of goods at the moment, but not bringing everything to the market just yet. So yeah, might be actually a pretty good tactic by CCP to determine that it's going to be around the 1% and it might not be that far off the mark. Let's go for some Take-Two stuff. 11.25. This of course for the traders, in my opinion. Let's have a look here at the absolution. 195 to 205. I mean, it's not as big as the other spike that we see right here, but yeah, it's maybe a small selling opportunity for some very quick profit. Personally, you know, I have 17 billion ISK. I'm definitely looking to invest like 2 billion of those, and so I am going to maybe do a little bit of this actively myself as well. Astarte, again, nice little jump here. So maybe you do have small selling opportunity here. Nothing I would want to buy though. Claymore, this is starting to be decently interesting. It's definitely below the 210 million mark on the buy order, sell order side as well of things. There is not that much supply on these prices though, so yeah, maybe a couple Claymores. You can see that spikes have hit 240, 250 in the 6 months ago. So it could be a medium-term investment. Yeah, maybe a couple Claymores could be a good idea. The Damnation is coming off of its big spike here, as you can see, coming from close to 220, hitting 280, now 255 still. Excuse me, for sell orders. So the competition has moved to 244 for buyers, 255 for sellers. And yep, that's this opportunity that I'm talking about. If you would have bought them right here, closer to 220, you'd be looking pretty damn good for some Damnations. Next up, the EOS. Yeah, that's looking pretty interesting, actually, breaking 280, coming off of that big spike. Honestly, that might be where I'll put some money, because I do like the EOS being able to field 5 heavy drones now with the geckos. Yeah, it could really be an interesting one to maybe invest a few $100 million in, buy a couple EOSs at these prices. Could be good. The Guardian again here. Yeah, I do like where this is at the moment. Definitely below 135, 132.5. That you can actually pick some Guardians up. Look at how high they've been, 170 million. That's pretty damn good. And actually, if you look at the last 6 months for the Guardian, they're at an historically pretty damn low point. So buy worthy, in my opinion. Nighthawk, that's just a little bit too high coming off that spike, a little bit too stable, well above 230. Wouldn't risk it. Sleipnir going down, but I do think closer to 220 is a better idea. And then the Vulture, yeah, look at that big spike being able to maintain itself at the current prices. 253 for the sellers, 240 for the buyers. They're really, yep, they've gone up, those buy orders. It's not the time to buy, but the time to sell some Vultures as well. But yeah, I do like this Take-Two market for trade opportunities, and I might actually start to make some moves of my own, I think, on a couple of these Guardian EOS. Those are looking pretty damn interesting, in my opinion. Anyways, let's have a look at the Take-3 market as well. 14.35 is what I should write down. What is the oversupply situation looking like here? The Legion, it knew its spike, but again here it's already coming back towards 140. Are we seeing supply coming in here? 13 of them. 119. Well, it's a little hard to say. Somehow the Legion market has dried up, and it's found its new price point above 140, which is quite a bit higher than some of the other ones have been doing in the last few months. But yeah, I do suspect that this might actually start to come online as well. Here a very recent order of 9 coming in, so watch out that oversupply might just kick in anytime. Low-key extremely low, look at that, well below 125 here, and still we have 718 and 111 of them coming in. Yeah, this is oversupply, really textbook example for the last year or so even, I would say. The Proteus here again 5515. I don't expect really to see a spike or anything like that. Nope, sticking below 135 million. Tengu 42, 13, 20, 11, pretty recent ones at 141. So it knew its little spike, but again here you can see that huge supply coming in right away to take care of that opportunity. And I think that the Legion is going to follow suit pretty soon here. I'm surprised it hasn't already, because we saw the Legion spike last week as well. But I do think people are going to bring a lot of Legions to the market just to take advantage of this momentary high price. But yeah, I still don't think it's the right time to be producing anything like Tech 3 stuff. If you actually want to fly Tech 3 ships, I still think it's time to stock up on them, because they're really very, very low. So yeah, Tech 3s, okay, still oversupplied in my opinion. The Legion is doing a little bit of a weird thing there. But I still think that the other ones are showing that it's still there, the overproduction is still there. So let's go for the Gecko then as my extra material. It has been released because of the 11th year anniversary, and so that makes it a perfect one to check out here. So the Gecko drone, let's see what they're going for in Jita. 20 million for the buyers, 22 million for the sellers, so it has stabilized very quickly. I don't think people have really done that crazy things with the Gecko. I did see maybe 50 million, something like that at the very first that came to the market. But yeah, 20 million seems to be the consensus price here at the moment. Two things are going to work against the Gecko very strongly. One is everyone is probably going to get 8 more of them next week. The other one, the situation of the Gecko is pretty unique because they already have the buffed stats that we will get after the summer expansions. So one of the skills is going to be reducing damage, or at least its bonus is going to be cut in half. To compensate for that, all the drones are going to get their base damage increased. The Gecko already has this increase in base damage, so basically everything else is going to be brought in line with what the Gecko is doing at the moment. It's of course an awesome toy, something that is destroying stuff left and right, showing some incredible DPS numbers on some drone ships. But yeah, all of this is going to be normalized, and so this again, the Gecko is not going to be that super awesome once the summer expansion hits, and that again is going to work against the price. And honestly, 20 million for a Gecko, it's not that much. If we weren't going to get 8 more of them next week, I think I'd buy probably 10 of those pretty rapidly. No problem. I think they're worth it. They look pretty cool, and at the moment they really do give you a very fun little toy to play with. But yeah, keep in mind, don't buy hundreds of them expecting to be a PvP god over the summer expansion. All of this is going to be normalized, and yeah, the Gecko is going to come right in line with everything else once those changes hit. But yeah, 20 million, I think that's actually a pretty okay price for an awesome drone for now, for a toy to play with for a few more weeks. Anyways, that's it for this Eve Talk, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time.